position, his 6th pole position around the streets of Macau, and he's going for his 9th gear race, a quite staggering record for the Brit, and very much like Eduardo Mortera, very well, he's in the record books, so to speak, and could be in the record books. I think we're going to go down to the grid with Alexandra Legui.
Rob, firstly, well done to the team for getting your car back on track. Tricky conditions today. You've driven in the wet here, but never raced in the wet. What do you anticipate that this track is going to give you?
If I knew that, I'd be a genius, I think. First of all, huge, well done to my team. The all-in-all Munich Motorsport team up till 4 o'clock this morning fixing the car. I think it took almost 14 hours, and it's not quite as it should be, but we've got a car and we're going to be on the grid, and that's the main thing. So thank you very much, guys. Amazing. Secondly, opening the windows this morning at 6 o'clock and seeing a lot of water in Macau is not what you want to see. I've had it once. I think we've done 1 or 2 practice sessions in the wet, and I remember it being not very pleasant. I think, I speak for everyone when I say we're absolutely dreading this. Literally, it's completely unknown. We don't know what we're going to be greeted by. We don't know what's around every corner, and it's not even the amount of water. It's the painted lines. It's all the paint on the track. It's sheet ice, and obviously on the road you've got crossings and painted lines and arrows and God knows what, and they get quite carried away with that in China. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
Hopefully you will have good vision and be out the front.
Yeah, we're in the best place, so that's the main thing. We did a great job on Friday in qualifying, and yeah, we're in the right place. And like I say, huge thanks to my team for getting me out and putting us on the front row.
Good, drive safe.
Well, just to clarify Rob Huff's comments there, I've just had it on good authority that we've never ever had a wet World Touring Car race around the streets of Macau. My name's Tom Gamer, alongside me Matt Neal, and would you be dreading it, Matt?
Yeah, definitely a lower level of grip today, massively, and it's going to be a real new challenge for these guys. Huffy is in the prime seat in one respect. He's got track position, but Bjorg's in there in the championship. Let's see what he's got to say.
Ted, here we are, main race in Macau. Yesterday, your closest rival caused the red flag, but still managed to get maximum points. What are your thoughts on this?
On that or today? On yesterday, I have no thoughts left. On today, fully focused on this wet track, and it's just like so challenging. For me, feels good. I have my goals clear, so what I would like to try to do, and see if I can achieve them. So it's just like big challenge, and I'm up to it.
Given these conditions, starting P4 in amongst the mess, if you like, at the start potentially, what do you feel the circuit's going to give to you?
The circuit's going to put out a big challenge to every one of us, and I think it will be really difficult. So, like I said, focus on my stuff. I cannot do anything about the others.
Yeah.
Just try to drive as good as I can, feel it, because it will be hard. It will be hard.
Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.
Well, confident stuff from the championship leader, Ted Bjork, and it's going to be a case of damage limitation for him. He starts on the 2nd row, and certainly with the safety car start, he's effectively protected somewhat from the initial melee. This is the grid. Rob Huff, with his 5th World Touring Car pole position around these streets, lines up ahead of Norby Michelis, the title rival to Ted Bjork. Alongside Ted Bjork is Tom Chilton heading up the 2nd row. Really strong qualifying from the Brit. He comes to Macau in good form. Esteban Guerreri is the Argentine in for Thiago Montero at Honda, alongside Kevin Gleason, the American, who did a good job. 7th and 8th, Ryo Mishigami, Tom Coronel, the Japanese with his first ever World Touring Car podium yesterday, the first Japanese driver on the podium. Then it's Mehdi Banani, Nesta Girolami. Girolami's never been here. John Philippi, Nicky Katzberg on the 6th row. And Jan Erleche here for the first time as well, learning his trade alongside David Zolt-Szabo. Daniel Naj and Macau Lock, the Macanese driver, and Qinghui Ma, who's returned to the championship, the Chinese star with a brace of world's touring car wins to his name, not having the weekend that he would have hoped for. Well, an opportunity to get a quick commercial break under our belts. We'll be back with the main race live, still to come.
Position is good. The grid's complete. 5 cents to Banani in front, gaining 1 cent per lap. Be aware, debris on the apex. Lights are out. Safety car in this lap. Okay, Tom, that's checkered flag.
Kenwood.
Когда свобода и простор становятся приоритетом, когда путь появляется там, где его никогда не было, когда найти себе место проще простого, и когда будущее технологий уже наступило, появляется новый 8-местный Honda Pilot.
If you educate a girl, everything changes.
Fraction is a part of.
You teach a girl, you teach a generation.
The FIA WTCC is brought to you by JVC Kenwood.
Well, it's been hot and humid all weekend, and now for the main gear race of Macau 2017. The heavens have opened. We've never had a wet World Touring Car race. We're about to have one now. We heard from the pole sitter, Rob Huff, and in true Rob Huff style, he said what everyone was thinking. He didn't give us the usual spiel, and he said he was dreading it.
Yeah, and Ted Bjork's very composed as usual. He's his main championship rival now, Norby Michelitz, in the Honda. All he's got to do, he hasn't got to beat him. All he's got to do is shadow him. He's got a nice little points buffer, not too much, but he could end up with a big wounder if he ends in the wall, and that's easy done around here when in these sort of conditions. So Ted's got not a bad grid position, starting on the second row in 4th. Michelitz right in front of him, so he's just got to shadow the Hungarian and see if he makes a mistake and capitalize on it. But Katzberg's there, we're just looking at now. He's going to be breathing down the necks. He needs to make progress. He's got to make points up on the pair of them, and he's got to make grid places, which is not going to be easy. So he's going to be looking for a bit of carnage in front of him.
Interestingly, Nicky Katzberg, the only factory Volvo driver with Macau experience prior to this weekend. He raced here in the FIA GT race last year, but he's been inconsistent. He's not really paid the walls enough respect, and after that crash in qualifying, it's just not gone his way. Nesta Girolami, well, he struggled in FP2, the young Argentine who doesn't have Macau experience, went into qualifying with only a few laps in free practice 1 under his belt. Nevertheless, he crashed and his weekend's not gone according to plan. Ted Bjork, who'd never been here, and I talked about this in the opening race, has really impressed me with his approach. If you watched how he undertook FP1 and FP2, just paid the barriers a lot of respect, got closer and closer to the barriers as he got more laps under his belt, and made sure he stayed out of the wall, didn't take any risks. And you know, just by getting those laps under his belt, he's almost just trusted his ability, and actually that's just allowed him to get to the sharp end, and some others have made a few mistakes around him. He's found the pace now, and it's been almost a champion's drive, if you like.
You say that about this weekend, but I think that almost epitomises his season, Tom. He was a little bit flustered because the other two, Girolami and Katzberg, they're pretty wild, and you know, they had the legs on him earlier on in the year, and you could see Bjork was a little bit flustered, but as he gained speed, he gained his composure, and he's flourished as the season's gone on, and he's really sort of driving in a composed manner, and he's almost a champion in the waiting. He's on top form, and the Honda guys, after they've lost their focus for the championship, Montero, you know, sort of Michelitz had a bit of a rough first half of the year, but he's had to stand up to the plate now and become the focus.
Well, Norby was right in the driving seat leaving China, but Honda had that issue with the technical infringement. All 3 cars were disqualified, and actually, if you know, re-add those points to his championship tally, and I know that's hypothetical, will be right there with Ted Bjork. Yesterday's race ended with a red flag, and talking of Norby Michelitz, overnight, and we listened to Rob Huff talk about his all-in-call crew working a long one. Well, the Honda crew have worked a long one as well, talking to their PR man Jamie O'Leary before the cars went to the grid. He said the mechanics haven't had much sleep at all. Norby's had a new front subframe, suspension, a new steering rack. He's had a precautionary gearbox change. The engine is okay, but that's quite a lot of damage. Esteban Guerreri's had a new rear subframe. Big and long welding job involved around that. He's got new rear dampers, radiator, cooling systems, plus a lot of body work. So the Hondas have been patched up, and our poleman's car's been patched up courtesy of that accident, and that's even with the extended part firme regulations, because of course the main race doesn't quickly follow the opening race as it does on normal weekends.
It's interesting, some of the stats from this year. We got about Michelitz, and he's had bad luck, and Bjork's just been there clocking up the points. I mean, if you go on pole positions, Michelitz is there at the front. He's had 3 poles, more than anyone else this year. 3 wins, more than anyone else this year. Laps led, 161 to Michelitz this year, with only 14 to Ted Bjork. So those just say that, I mean, the Hondas are on fire. It's just whether it's luck or ill fortune or whatever's not been going their way at the minute.
It's that famous saying, you only need to lead the last lap, don't you? But yeah, and that's what I was saying about the China disqualification, because Norby with a win there would have really been right up there in the driving seat. If Rob Huff wins here today, now this is an incredible stat, because Rob Huff, a world champion, somebody that we thought would be right up there challenging for the title aboard a Citroën Alese this year. If he wins today, it'll be his first World Touring Car win since Paul Ricard on the 3rd of April 2016, 595 days ago.
And I'd have, Huffy getting in the all-conquering Citroën, I'd have put a fair amount of money on him this year to win the championship, never mind win races, and I don't know what's happened to him. He's just trod on a black or a white cat, or
I'm not going to take any betting tips from you, mate.
But it's he's on pole. He's broken the lap record, the qualifying lap record this weekend, which is fantastic. But he should do, because the Citroën is on 0 kilos this weekend, and it's the first time the Citroën's been on 0 kilos ever, I think, bar its first race 4 years ago. So He's in the pound seats, okay? The only problem is it's treacherous conditions. He's got track position, but he's going to be the first one to find those treacherous track positions, isn't he?
Yeah, I like that line. The only thing is the treacherous conditions separating poleman Rob Huff between now and what could be a historic victory for him. 9th win around these streets if he can make it count. Norby Michelis alongside him on the front row. Tom Chilton, Ted Bjork the second row. Esteban Guerreri and Kevin Gleeson the third row. Ria Mishigami, Tom Coronel the fourth row. Then it's Mehdi Banani and Nesta Girolami. Girolami will be looking to end the weekend on a high. Jean-Philippe, who got off to a good start and then crashed in qualifying, never really recovered from that, alongside Nicky Katzberg. Then it's Ivan Muller's protege, Jan Erleche. He'll be good in these conditions with David Zolt-Szabo alongside him. Daniel Nage and Macau Lock, the only Macau-based driver on the grid. And then it's Quin Quy Ma and Po Wa Wong. I think Po Wa Wong's actually withdrawn, but I need to confirm that for you.
Представлено Tag Heuer, официальным хронометристом.
Please drive to highlighted routes.
Kenwood.
Когда свобода и простор становятся приоритетом, когда путь появляется там, где его никогда не было, когда найти себе место проще простого, и когда будущее технологий уже наступило, появляется новый 8-местный Honda Pilot.
If you educate a girl, everything changes.
Fraction is a part of.
You teach a girl, you teach a generation.
Back in Macau, cars on the formation lap now. It will be a safety car start. We're going to have 2 safety car laps added to the original distance. And wherever you're watching in the world, you can join us on Twitter at Tom Gaymore, TomGaymor, or at Matt Neal Racing. And if you're in the UK, it'll be about 2:45 in the morning. So you're either getting up for a toilet break, or you're just getting in after a Saturday night, or you're just getting up because you're a World Touring Car fan. They're the drivers' points. Ted Bjork is the championship leader ahead of Norby Michelis. Nicky Katzberg is in third. Mehdi Banani's jumped up to fourth, courtesy of his win yesterday. Tiago Monteiro, the luckless Tiago Monteiro, not here this weekend. He was the championship leader, and he suffered that testing crash at Barcelona after the Argentinian World Touring Car round, and his concussion symptoms have just not gone away. He's suffering from double vision. If he puts one hand over one eye, it's okay, but when he has perfect opportunity to see out of both eyes, he has double vision. So on safety grounds, he can't compete, and that's the right decision. But you've got to feel sorry for Thiago Monteiro, because he was well set for his first World Touring Car crown. Although we had plenty of rounds still to go, he was going well.
He was. It was just interesting, just going back to the cars we got here, we just had a bit of a in-car with Rob Huff there, and you can see they're just going at a very leisurely pace around here, and he's still being able to light the front wheels up. He was the one thing we just mentioned, that first time ever the Citroen's running with 0 weight, which is by virtue of lap times done in previous meetings, and that's an advantage in one respect with braking, acceleration, all the rest of it, but it does affect traction. The more weight they get in it, the better the traction gets. So he was struggling in the dry with all the fresh sticky tyres for traction, as were the other Citroen guys of Chilton and Co. But you can hear it there, can't you? So it's going to be interesting. They've got so much torque in these 1.6 litre engines, these turbo engines. They're with the anti-lag systems on it. It's going to be. It almost looks as though it's drying around this section, isn't it?
Well, it's a slightly different surface, I think, here, and doesn't hold the water as much. Let's hope Huffy's had a big stake last night and he can use that as ballast, because he was bemoaning after free practice a lack of traction, and he said, you know, we're really going to have to dial this out the car.
He chance of that, because Huffy does like his food, doesn't he? So
yeah, and red wine. So no, he's the perfect athlete, is Rob Huff. Jake Wilson watching at home. Hello to you, Ollie K and Uni XXTR Motorsport.
Yeah, just going around Melco hairpin here. This is the one corner of the lap where yellow flags will be permanently out. They deem it's too tight to overtake on, so they recommend you not to try it, and they'll hold yellow flags for every race here, never mind just the touring cars.
You just can't get up the inside. There's not enough steering lock to get up the inside. You'll run out of lock on the exit, and that will see you just
which were the GT cars a few years back where they literally didn't have enough lock on to get round, and they were almost having to 3-point turn. It was, I can remember that was about 5 years ago, wasn't it?
I think some of the cars do change their steering racks dependent on this circuit, and of course, you know, whoever that manufacturer was would have to have made certain modifications. Quite a pensive look on the pit wall. I mean, this is going to be frightening, isn't it, in the rain through Mandarin?
Yeah, these guys are going to have to tiptoe around today, because yesterday it's the first year we've had split days for each race, which was for the WTCC, which is actually a good thing, because there was a fair bit of carnage yesterday. Ended up with a red flag, as it did in most of the races, unfortunately, with the GT race, the local Chinese touring car race, the WTC, and obviously the bike side as well, Tom.
Yeah, it's with a somber mood that we mentioned the bikes after the sad news yesterday. Daniel Hegarty losing his life in an accident heading up to Fisherman's Bend, and that brought out the red flags, and a hollow victory for Glenn Irwin, and our thoughts and prayers go to the family and the friends of Daniel Hegarty and the whole bike fraternity. Safety car is in this lap, and this will now get interesting. Rob Huff will lead the field away, and to be honest, yes, he's going to be the first to arrive on all the difficult aspects of the track, especially as we push up through the mountain, but he'll be the driver that can see where he's going, and when you're pushing through Mandarin down to Lisboa, that's going to be a huge advantage.
Yeah, Bruno Carrera, the safety car driver, really looks as though he's getting his skates on through that section, so he has the fortune of traction control, anti-lock brakes, and everything in his Volvo. So all the safety features, which the guys in the TC1 cars don't enjoy, but the TC1 it seems as though he's back in the field up a wee bit now, is he? Yeah, they're just coming around the Melco hairpin, so they're coming back onto Black Sander. and then they'll start heading up round Fisherman's and back towards the start line for take the green flag.
So Rob Huff will effectively become the safety car. He'll allow space between himself and the Volvo. There we see it. And Norby Michelis, Tom Chilton will be looking to get as close as they possibly can to Rob. And Rob Huff has gone already. And Norby Michelis, Tom Chilton goes with the Brits. It looks as though Ted Bjork has dropped back. Ted Bjork's been caught napping there. Ted Bjork with Esteban Guerreri behind and Kevin Gleeson, but it is Rob Huff who leads Norby Michelis across the line. We're green here in Macau, and Huffy looks as though he's going a little bit wide. Now we're heading down to Mandarin, and I think Rob did lose a bit of momentum on the exit there. Michelis looking to capitalise as they head through Mandarin. Rob Huff being very cautious. He goes defensive. Which way's Norby Michelis going to go? To the outside there. Side by side down to Lisboa for the first time. Norby Michelis thinks better of it. Rob Huff brakes very late on the inside. He gets the car stopped. And Tom Chilton just keeping his distance in third place. Is Ted Bjork? No, Ted Bjork's lost the position now to Esteban Guerreri. So the Argentine ahead of the championship leader, Ted Bjork, down to 5th place.
Yeah, some real tiptoeing of the pair of them down through Mandarin, down into Lisboa there. Thought Michelis was getting a good slipstream on Huffy, but backed out. He needs the points. He needs to gain more points on Bjork, so they'll be keeping informed on how Bjork's progress.
Yellow flags are out, so something has gone awry further back. You're looking there, Guerreri leading. No, that was Coronel Mishigami leading Tom Coronel, so that was 7th, 8th. And Mehdi Banani just behind in 9th. The yellow flags are back in, so no major drama, whoever it was who was in the walls further back. So it is still Rob Huff who leads Norby Michelis. You're looking at Esteban Guerreri, who's passed Ted Bjork down into Lisboa on that one. And the Argentine in the Honda for the 2nd weekend. And look how narrow it is through here.
Yeah, they reckon it's meant to be 7 meters at the narrowest point, but that looks even less than that.
Just looks like a London Mews Street, doesn't it? It really does look narrow. Rob Huff just starting to find his rhythm. Plenty of cement dust down on the circuit, as we had an incident earlier on in one of the Chinese touring car races.
Yeah, there'll be a definite, if some of these guys were going to make progress, like Michelis, have got a sort of a bit of a run on Huffy. If he was going to have a go, give Huffy 1 lap to find the conditions at racing speed. I think they're going to find it awfully hard to get past him, as long as the Englishman doesn't make a mistake. But behind, a little bit of a slip from John Philippi there. He's almost put it in the barriers, but kept it in. But Esteban Guerreri in the 2nd Honda doing the perfect wingman's job, getting in front of the Volvo of Ted Bjork just to take valuable points off him.
Look how early Norby Michelis braking there for Arbend, and Rob Huff. It's an unconventional line that they're taking just because they want to get the car as straight as possible, and Rob Huff's car's falling apart. We heard the All-Inkle chaps have worked an all-nighter, and it looks as though he's losing his front grille there already.
Yeah, it's just the grille coming up, I think, so a bit of trim. Yeah, Dominic. He can see what we can see at the moment, but I think the bonnet's all in one place, so he's okay. But whether it's causing him a bit of drag, because Michelis has definitely got a run on him again, but the Honda has been fast. It was fast considering the shape of it. They were not looking forward to Monza, but they were the fastest thing through the speed traps at the high-speed Monza Autodromo, so maybe that's counting again a bit today.
Well, Rob Huff and Norby Michelis just a little bit quicker than Tom Chilton through Mandarin that time around. They've just pulled a little bit of a gap on the Brit. Tom Chilton was really pleased with his qualifying. He's looked really quick all weekend, and through free practice 1 and 2, he was fairly spectacular. It is still Esteban Guerreri who is in 4th place ahead of Ted Bjork. Tom Coronel is 6th. Well, yellow flags out again. Mehdi Banani 7th, Kevin Gleeson 8th, and it's been a strong weekend for Kevin Gleeson, the American. It's gone well here at Macau.
Qualified 6th place. I think that's about definitely his best qualifying of Macau, but he's up there for the season, isn't it?
Yeah, just listening to the onboard, listen to the throttle control here.
He's absolutely feathering it. I mean, Michelitz is doing a fantastic job there. You consider both the Citroens of Huff and Chilton on 0 weight success ballast when all the Hondas are carrying 70 kilos. I mean, that's a massive amount of weight. So Michelitz is hanging in there well at the moment.
Rob Huff continues to lead. 4 laps of the 13 completed. The slippery flags are out. Look at the amount of cement dust. It almost looks like a rally stage.
It does look like
there.
a rally course, doesn't it?
Yeah, going from tarmac to...
I think it's from all the previous accidents, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, that was the Chinese touring car. You showed me a picture of that off air. Guerreri very sideways. Quite how he did that with a front-wheel drive car there, I don't know, but the Argentine is renowned for his car control. He was here in 2007 racing in Formula 3 for the Signatec Plus team. And Tom Chilton, you could just hear the wheel spin and the front of the car move there from the apex. Had to get out of that, otherwise he would have been travelling to the scene of his own accident.
Yeah, Huffy's car hanging together there. Chilton just lighting it up a wee bit early. You can see that they're all sort of finding out the optimum lines now. Tom Coronel back there, where is he at the moment? In 6th. He was leading in a Formula 3 race, so we all know, we all saying Huffy's got track position. Coronel was obviously, he was a big Formula 3 advocate out here, and he was leading the Formula 3 race and put it in the wall watching his mirrors a few years back, so he knows it's easy to throw away a victory round here.
Yeah, very, very difficult to win any race around Macau, never mind in these conditions, and it's about finding out that what does work rather than what doesn't work. It's very easy to find out what doesn't work around here, and quickly. Kevin Gleeson under a bit of pressure here from Nesta Girolami, and the American goes defensive. Katzberg having a look, Girolami trying to come up the inside, and the 2 Volvos are trying to bully their way past the American.
I think that was Katzberg giving to Girolami, hurry on up, we want to get through on here, but fastest lap of the race so far. The first 3 are very, very evenly matched, but fastest lap of the race so far going to Chilton. But fastest front sector is to Michelitz at the moment on this lap, so he's pushing hard.
The 2 Polestar sign Volvo S60s of Nesta Girolami, Nicky Katzberg trying to bully their way past the RC Motorsport, the Lada Vesta of Kevin Gleeson. And that was Nicky Katzberg at his best, wasn't it? And that, you know, just epitomises the way he drives. We actually love watching him. We love listening to him. He's very emotive on the radio. But it hasn't always worked out for him, and you can just see his levels of aggression are fairly substantial, and Kevin Gleeson was almost pushed through. I don't think, not Kevin Gleeson, Nesta Girolami was almost pushed past Kevin Gleeson there without doing too much himself to pass the American.
Yeah, it looks like Katzberg's picked up a bit of damage on the front of that just by a bit of a love tap. Yeah, just that's not going to help him down the straights. I hope it doesn't affect his air or his cooling too much.
Well, that car has been in the wall.
We could see the understeer of Gleeson as he's trying to get the front end into there.
Through the rally stage, up to turn 20.
The Lada Vesta has historically gone really well in the wet, so I would have thought these conditions would have played to the hands. Plus, the Volvo, like the Honda, is near on maximum weight. In fact, it is on maximum weight, 80 kilos, and the Lada's right down there. It's light like the Citroen, so...
2 Zenga Motorsport Honda Civics going well behind Rio Mishigami. So Mishigami's gone backwards, so's Jan Erleche. So we had a couple of yellow flags earlier on. Maybe one of those was for Mishigami. Erleche's gone backwards. They are, well, where are they? So Mishigami is behind the 2. So he's 14th and 16th respectively. This is the lead battle, and Tom Chilton has got onto the back of Norby Michelis, which has allowed Rob Huff to go away. So somewhere along the line, I think Norby's made a mistake, because he was right up with Rob Huff, and now he's dropping back into the clutches of Tom Chilton. So the Honda, the meat in a Citroën sandwich here. You've got the all-Inkle run Citroën LS of Rob Huff, and the Sebastian Loeb run machine of Tom Chilton, the factory Honda of Norby Michelis in the middle, and further back Esteban Guerreri is not dropping back. In fact, he set the fastest first sector of all last time around. So the Argentine's on his way.
Now, the one who's got the hammer down is Huffy now. He's managed to gap those two, but that's by pure speed. He's set the fastest lap by a good little margin on that one, so he's got just a nice little breathing space for him so he can relax. And seems like with Chilton and Michelis, the Citroën seems to have better punch, which they've always said, better punch off the corners and the first half of the straight. And whether it's whether Yas and Honda have been working on the aero much more, or the Honda seems to have it in the second half of the straight. So Chilton pulls up to start with, and then Michelis seems to pull back as they get up to VMAX at the end of the straight.
Tom Chilton still on the back of Norby Michelis. And Michelis, who was putting Rob Huff under pressure, now having to turn his attention to his mirrors. And the Hungarian will, well, he'll be a little bit perturbed by that. He'll want to be going forward. But Tom Chilton with 2 wins to his name this year, and 3 other podiums to go with those 2 wins. Well set at the moment to try and nick that second place away from Norby Michelis. The Honda crew look on. I think it's easy to make a mistake around here. I know that's stating the obvious, but you can lose a huge amount, if not end up in the barriers. And
Chilton very wide again out of Fisherman's. You can see now Chilton's sort of shadowing Michelis here, but if he's not careful, he's going to have his rear view mirrors full of Guerreri before very long. And you know, we're not even half distance yet, so he's got to keep under the pressure on Michelis, see if he'll make a mistake. You know, he's got the weight advantage. Just see if he can, but Michelis, he just needs those points. He's got Bjorg back in 5th place at the moment, and I think it's going to be every point that counts, the old Andy Prio adage.
So looking at Twitter, Gary Brook watching, welcome to the coverage. Andy Robinson also tweeting in. He said the F3 cars have got special steering racks. Yeah, we know that. Any single-seater around here will have to have their steering racks adapted. And look at Esteban Guerreri now, the second of the factory Hondas, is closing up behind Tom Chilton. He's the man on the move. Look at that last lap of 2:50.2, the fastest lap of anyone last time around from Guerreri. Ria Mishigami, meanwhile, trying to find his way past Katzberg. Katzberg's dropped back from Nestor Girolami. Girolami still not past the American Kevin Gleason. This is the battle for 8th, 9th, 10th and 11th. And the 2 Zengo Motorsport cars going well. They've had a few reliability woes of late, and so it's nice to see them with some good pace and racking up the laps here in this main race.
Yeah, both the Zengo Motorsport guys, drivers are, you know, are Macau rookies as well. So it's great they've kept him out of the wall, and you know, sort of especially with the other carnage that's been going on, that they've been having a clear weekend. They need one.
So lap 7 of 13. And Nicky Katzberg holding off Rio Mishigami. Mishigami, the first Japanese driver to step on a World Touring Car podium yesterday, and what a place to do it, coming off the back of his personal best result previous to that.
Yeah, Katzberg was on, he was on good form earlier on, so I can only think that little bit of damage at the front
well, that's going to really hurt. It's a big hole, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's a massive hole, look at it.
Big windbreak, and whether it's affecting his cooling, engine temperature, so horsepower will be affected. You can see the mud on the road round there.
You can see it being kicked up off the back of the car that we're on board with. And that is
Paul Ridgway, Nicky Katzberg's engineer. One of the many championships he's racking his air miles up, along with a few of the other well-known engineers from the British paddock.
Well, I'll tell you who's racking his air miles up is Guerreri, who's in 4th place at the moment, but he's actually still based in Buenos Aires, competing in the Argentine TC2000 series as well as this. But every race he visits, he has to come from Buenos Aires. And you know just how difficult it is to get to and from Argentina. And he had 2 long-haul flights just to get to Macau. But it's not putting him off. And look, Guerreri is now with this battle. You can see just coming up behind Tom Chilton into the braking spot down here at Lisboa.
Yeah, this is going to go from a Honda Michelin sandwich to a Citroen Chilton sandwich in very, very quickly. The last lap off Guerreri was an absolute stonker. So he's pulling himself up onto the back of Chilton Citroen very nicely.
Well, everyone slightly quicker last time around. Certainly the top 9, all of the top 9 improved, but improving more than anyone else was Esteban Guerreri.
Who's overshot Lisboa then? Did someone overshoot?
I'm not sure.
Not sure.
But Nicky Katzberg is still in 11th. Wasn't Nicky Katzberg?
Guerreri, fastest front sector again of everybody.
It is yellow flags down at Lisboa, so you weren't imagining things, Matt. That's a good thing.
It's my X-ray vision.
Nicky Katzberg with the Zengo Motorsport car of David Szabo behind. As old David Szabo enjoying a good run here in Macau.
Car 30. Drive-through penalty. So that's Marquin Qua.
Well, his weekend just goes from bad to worse then. I mean, it really has not been the comeback he was hoping for.
Yeah, one of the talking points this weekend was where the championship's going regulation-wise. You know, it's been a bit of a unknown, you know, with penultimate meeting here before we go to Qatar, and a lot of the teams have been, what's the calendar, what's the regulations, are we staying with TC1, are we going to Class 1, or is it not going to happen, or, you know, you've got TCR regs waiting in the wings, and the rumours on the street now is they're trying to amalgamate a deal with TCR, so TC1 category would ostensibly finish at the end of this year, and they'd be moving over to TCR on a 2-year contract. So, but it's all rumour mill at the moment. So it'd be interesting because the TCR grid's grown a fair bit. Oh, Chilton on the move.
Chilton up the inside of Michelis. He backs out, and that would have been a very difficult move to make, and that's allowed Guerreri now, the second of the Hondas, to get the run on Chilton. He's going to be around the outside. Yes, he is. So Chilton loses ground trying to pass Norby Michelis. Guerreri, Michelis teammate, slots in behind, and this will be interesting now because Guerreri, with the pace he's got, he'll want to go after the win, but team orders would dictate that he's not to take points away from Norby Michelis, as Michelis is trying to put as much distance between himself and Ted Bjork as possible. Ted Bjork down in 5th place, a lone 5th place at the moment, and on for some solid points. This is going to be a really interesting dynamic now. Does the young Argentine listen to the bigger picture, or does he chase his own personal glory here?
Oh, Chilton's having a look back. No, I think Chilton unfortunately set himself up there, and Guerreri got a great run in, but I think he'll be listening to the people who are paying his checks, or he needs to. It's too much of a risk for him to, I mean, in an ideal world, you'd, with his pace, you'd set him off past Michelis and see if he can go and catch Huff. If he can't, then pull him back, but Chilton's too close to swap positions at the end of the straight. I think he needs to hold station, and I think we'll find him sit there and be Michelis' rear guard. Yeah,
I think you're absolutely right. It's when you go past the start and finish straight and there's no pit board there, just someone ripping up a check. That's when you've got to look at the bigger picture and see what's important. Might not be able to afford to fly home.
Might not be on the flight home.
Exactly.
At the bottom of Hong Kong Harbour.
Yeah, he'd be off the boat on the Delta. So we are 66 kilometres away from Hong Kong, just a river trip away. And this Macau venue, iconic. And this is a replay here. Well, we don't really see what happened and why Chilton had to back out.
Yeah, Chilton just got he got a good run out of our bend and then was just sniffing at the inside down into Reservoir, but that compromised him for the run down through Mandarin, and it was an easy gimme for Guerreri then.
So fastest lap last time around again to the Argentine. 9 laps of 13 completed. Esteban Guerreri now into 3rd place, and Tom Chilton, well, now he's going to have his work cut out, because Guerreri is really going to play the rear gunner role and protect Norby Michelis, and the top 4 spreading out. Rob Huff's been, without putting the commentator's curse on him, very, very impressive. Everything that you'd expect from a world champion and a driver of his experience. He's played these conditions perfectly, and he hasn't looked flustered yet.
Yeah, and we got Bjork back in, just being solid, back in 5th. It's picking up those points. I think he's, if he can come away from this meeting having picked up a handful of points, kept it out the wall, kept the car in one piece, and then look forward to Qatar in a few weeks' time.
Well, he knows he's not going to win it here, and really, with a race like this, the first ever World Touring Car race in the wet around Macau, you could certainly lose it. And Ted Bjork very quickly playing the long game earlier on in the race, let Guerreri go, and knew that he's got the pace over Tom Coronel, and settled into that 5th place nicely.
Well, it could have easily turned the other way, because Bjork being the Macau rookie and Katzberg not far behind on the points, he, coming here with a fair bit of experience. Katzberg could have had a cracking weekend, and then they would have had their bases split. Volvo would, as it is now, with the points as they are, they'll be going to Qatar, and the focus will be purely on the Swede.
Rob Huff just approaching the end of the long middle sector here in Macau. This corner here has caused a huge amount of drama throughout the weekend. Red flag in the opening race of the World Touring Car race, and a red flag in the FIA GT World Cup as well around that tight right-hander. Just listen to Rob Huff now on board.
You can see he's almost having to take handfuls of steering around there. He's I can't believe that Huffy's still winless this year, with that car and his experience and his speed, and just rotten luck. But if he's going to take one, the Huffy the Street Fighter would, well, I think if he's going to win one this year, this is going to be the one he'd want to.
It'll be his 9th gear race win, and it'll be the first win for All Inkle Munich Motorsport since Gianni Morbidelli won in Hungary in May 2014.
Yeah, Chilton's definitely not given up on 3rd place on the final podium position either, has he? So he's...
Chilton's not going to give up. He's got 2 speeds, flat out or stop. And it'll be interesting to see which one wins out now.
So whether Guerreri's used his tyres up well, whether they pressured him slightly different, but Chilton's definitely seems to be coming back at him now.
Just a little bit of a snap of oversteer on the way in from Guerreri, and it's just meant he's lost a bit of momentum on the exit. Chilton hold up behind the factory Honda as they head through Mandarin. And Guerreri again a little bit squirrely on the exit. But it looked as though he carried enough speed through Mandarin for Chilton not to challenge up the inside, but he's going to try and have a look around the outside. That's not going to work.
Chilton go for the cutback. He's going to try the cutback. Oh, Guerreri had him covered. Saw that one coming.
So we've got a flavour now of Guerreri and the measure of his want to stay ahead of Tom Chilton. That was fairly robust coming out of the back of Lisboa, but perfectly legal. So 2 laps left around a wet Macau. 6.1 kilometre circuit. We saw a fastest ever lap around this Macau venue from Rob Huff in qualifying. We won't get near that in the race, just purely because of the conditions. But Rob Huff now closing in on his first win of 2017. It'll be his 29th career World Touring Car win, and that'll put him back level with Jose Maria Lopez. And that's second in the standings. Jose Maria Lopez, it's amazing to think that he racked up all those wins in a matter of a couple of years.
Yeah, and they've still got a way to go on Ivan Muller, haven't they? 48 wins for the Frenchman, so he's still way up there in pole positions, fastest laps, and all-time wins.
And he's here this weekend, Ivan. He's the development driver at Volvo, and he played a huge part on Ted Bjork's development throughout the weekend. He was in the car, or sticking his head in the car and listening to Ted Bjork all the way through free practice, giving him all the advice he possibly could. And yeah, you'd be a fool not to listen to Ivan Muller. We saw Tom Chilton very close to Esteban Guerreri again through the tight right-hander, turn 20 at the top of the hill. Now we've come through Fisherman Bend up to the last corner, R Bend. Across the line to complete another lap. We're on to the penultimate lap here. It is still Rob Huff who leads. His lead's gone right out now. 6.4 seconds across the line. Norby Michelis in second. This is the battle for second, third and fourth. Guerreri in third. Chilton trying hard to get back onto the podium. He'll want to leave Macau with a podium to his name after a strong qualifying performance. Qualified third. But in these conditions, the Argentine Guerreri, who qualified on the third row, has raced through. He passed Ted Bjork on the first lap down into Lisboa. And a brace of fastest laps has meant caught up with this battle. And Tom Chilton's failed attempt to get past Norby Michelis held him up, and that allowed Guerreri to drag past. And that's really frustrating, isn't it, Matt? When you're trying to pass a driver, you go for a move, it doesn't come off, and then you lose a place as well.
Yeah, just catching a caption of Mehdi Benani, race one winner yesterday in the dry. Languishing down in 7th at the moment, so it just shows you track position is king here, and you know it's so difficult to overtake. And you can see Chilton's got the speed in his car, and he's been doing really well this year. Qualified exceptionally, right at the front, you know, using the weight advantage of the Citroen, and he's got the speed now. He's just struggling to just get his nose alongside Guerreri.
This is Quickly Mark.
Katzberg's dropped now. Is that Mark? Yes, it is.
Yeah, it is. It's Mark with Nicky Katzberg. Katzberg's dropped right back now, so whether or not he's made a mistake or he's got an issue with that car, but it's not been the Macau weekend he was hoping for, and that's a bit of a issue for Katzberg.
That's his championship gone, really.
Well, and he's going to lose out to Mehdi Benani by the looks of things as well. Mehdi Benani's only 2 points behind, so they are third and fourth in the championship. And so Nicky Katzberg, and he was really quick in qualifying and then hit the wall coming out of Fisherman's Bend in Q1.
Yeah, you can hear the short shifting coming out of Melco hairpin there, can't you?
Still Tom Chilton hurries Guerreri around Fisherman's Bend, and he's going to have about 6 kilometers left to try and pass the Argentine.
This is probably Chilton's last opportunity, and he's coming down to Bend, where he's been very strong out of here. Needs to get a good run. Guerreri getting a bit squiffy on the exit. They're going to go down to 30-degree left-hander reservoir for the long, fast slipstreaming run down through Mandarin. Chilton's in a good place. He's got a good slipstream opportunity here.
So the gap out front, Rob Huff, 7.5 0.8 seconds ahead of Norby Michelis. Michelis in turn driving well ahead of Guerrieri. Guerrieri with his mirrors full of Tom Chilton. And now Tom Chilton with an opportunity into Lisboa. It's going to be his last attempt. And black and white flag, warning flag for Guerrieri, driving standards. And that'll be for the move here where he came back across Chilton. But I think that's a bit harsh to have a warning flag for that. I haven't seen anything else untoward, but you're the expert, Matt, not me.
No, I can only think it's for that. I can't see he's done anything else wrong. Well, I can't see he's done anything wrong, really. And
you would never have finished the race if those were the rules that you were having to drive to, Matt.
Guerrieri's rear gunning for Michelis. Whether Michelis has got a problem, they're all over the back of Norby now. So whether the Hungarian's got an issue, but this could get really busy in the second half of this lap.
Guerrieri now with one eye on Norby Michelis, and you can see how dirty the screen is.
After Michelis ended up in the wall and was the... Oh, I thought Chilton was looking for the inside there. Yeah, Michelis was the catalyst for the race stoppage in the first one. So whether he's just taking it easy, thinking, knowing Guerrieri's got his tail, but Guerrieri's definitely got his work cut out with Chilton at the moment.
Is Chilton going to have a real stab at Guerrieri here? He's going to have to think where he's going to do it, and he's going to have to bully his way through, because I can't think of an opportunity that's going to present itself. And Guerrieri goes wide, and well, just as I say that, that is the commentator's curse right there. A mistake from Esteban Guerrieri, and he just lost the rear on the way in, and Tom Chilton now in a podium spot and ahead of Esteban Guerrieri, and that will be really frustrating for the Argentinian, and it'll be really frustrating for Honda as well, because well, actually it doesn't change too much, does it, for Norby Michelis, because he's still ahead of Ted Bjork.
Well, that's brilliant that Chilton had to put the pressure on him, and he kept it, and he's got a podium there. But Rob Huff crosses the line.
Yeah, Huffy across the line, his 9th career win around here, his 29th career World Touring Car win, ahead of Norby Michelis. Tom Chilton it is who does close out the podium ahead of Esteban Guerrieri, but all eyes on Rob Huff. It's his first win since 2016, and All Inkle's first win since 2014. And there'll be a big celebration here in Macau. Huffy knows how to celebrate, that's for sure, and he's worked really hard for that. It's been a long time coming. He hasn't quite had the 2017 he would have hoped for, but to come to Macau and win a record-breaking 9th World Touring Car race, that is something special. Well done, Rob Huff.
Мировой туринг. Доставлено DHL.
Когда свобода и простор становятся приоритетом, когда путь появляется там, где его никогда не было, когда найти себе место проще простого, и когда будущее технологий уже наступило, появляется новый 8-местный Honda Pilot.
Position is good. The grid complete. 5 cents to Banani in front, gaining 1 cent per lap. Be aware, debris on the apex. Lights are out. Safety car in this lap. Okay, Tom, that's checkered flag.
Kenwood.
Представлено Так Хойер, официальным хронометристом.
Rob Huff has won his 9th race around the streets of Macau. He looks absolutely ecstatic. And I got a message from Gavin Richings watching in Gloucester on Twitter. He says this makes Huffy the most winning driver in different Tim Tops around Macau. Well, it must do. I can't think of anyone else who's had the success of Rob Huff. He's definitely Mr. Macau. And Jake Wilson says it's Huffy's first win since last month. Well, I meant that it's his first win in 2017 in World Touring Cars. Norbin Michelis, though, will be pleased with his day's work. He's closed the points gap to Ted Bjork to 6.5 points. We'll go to Qatar. 60 points will be on offer. 6.5 separate the top two. Mehdi Banani's still in the mix as well in third. And as we turn our attentions back to Rob Huff, what I will say is what a cracker Qatar's going to be. 2 races on the plate and a World Championship crown for the taking.
Well, 2 records broken by, one extended by Huffy this weekend. He was already the record number of starts for any WTCC driver at 287 before this weekend. So he extends that, and what a way to do it with a big win in Macau feature race. Huffy's just showing he squeezes into his suit still. Be a few celebrations, a few beers tonight as well, I can imagine.
Yeah, they must have shrunk that suit. Must have been from earlier on in the season. But yeah, Huffy will be really enjoying this moment, and that's a big hug from his dad. His dad travels around and is a big fan. I remember when Huffy was racing back in '99 with me. That's a long time ago, and his dad was a staunch supporter of his then, and they've got a great relationship. He's got a great relationship with the team, and that's All Inkle's first win since Gianni Morbidelli, and now he's going to get on the roof.
Yeah, don't get on the roof, Rob. End up with the big bill.
The best
He's
celebration.
running out of fingers, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. But the best celebration was Tom Chilton in British Touring Cars when he went to get on the roof at Brands Hatch and then smashed his head on the metal beam. That was absolutely brilliant. Yeah, Huffy being escorted off there by Richard Rogers, the FIA media delegate here. And he'll be with Alexandre Le Guy. Just look how dirty his All Inkle Citroen Alese is. And I'm pretty sure Alex has got Huffy down in Parc Fermé.
The master of Macau does it again. Rob Huff, your 9th win. Well done.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. All credit to my team. Boys, thank you so much. Thank you, boys. Unbelievable job last night. Putting this back together, and it was awesome, absolutely awesome. First lap or two, just being really careful on the brakes down into Lisboa. Norby could catch up, but the rest of the lap I was gone, and the car was just mega. Just huge thanks to the team. Rene Munich, thank you, mate. Brilliant.
I bet yesterday you saw it slightly slipping away potentially, but clean race.
At midnight last night, I didn't think we had a car for today, and the boys just worked all night to put the car back together, put me on the front row, and first win of the year, and it's all down to them.
Congratulations, well done.
Well, it's a team sport, isn't it? And without the team, you wouldn't have the car. And that just shows how much you rely on the mechanics and the engineers. And it's a tough time for them. And I always do feel sorry for some of the mechanics as they pull all-nighters and the driver just goes home to sleep half the time. Rob Huff with his 9th win in the gear race, ahead of Norbin Michelis, who's eked out a few points over Ted Bjork. Tom Chilton rounds out the podium. Esteban Guerrero will be kicking himself with that mistake on the last lap. Ted Bjork, the championship leader, with plenty of points in 5th. Tom Coronel with a strong finish. He rounds out the top 6.
Yeah, it's a big win for Huffy. Well overdue. Job done for Michelitz, trying to eke the points down on Bjorg and keep the pressure on the Volvo man. And great podium for Chilton. Strong weekend for him, and he's kept the pressure on Guerreri's Honda, and it paid off right on the last lap, which I didn't think he was going to be able to do, but he managed to do it. Guerreri managed to take points off Bjorg, so it was pretty okay. He missed out on the podium, but it was job done. Bjorg kept it out the wall and kept the championship lead, so it's job done for him. And you know, it's and a good top 6 finish for Tom Coronel in the Rail Motorsport Chevy.
Tom Chilton back into the lead of the Independence Trophy. And Mehdi Banani, the points leader yesterday. Chilton wrestles the points lead back by half a point. This is for the drivers that are not racing for the factory Honda and Volvo squads. Well, we await the podium here in Macau. And standing on the top step will be the driver of that car, Rob Huff. A wet track for the first time ever in a World Touring Car race around Macau. Saw a safety car start. After 2 laps, we got the green flag. Rob Huff was under pressure initially from the Honda of Norby Michelis, but he cleared off in the end. The 2 Volvos of Nestor Girolami and Nicky Katzberg got into each other, trying to pass Kevin Gleeson, but up front, Rob Huff was never to be headed. Norby Michelis with a lone run to 2nd. He was under pressure from Tom Chilton. Then arrived the Argentine of Esteban Guerreri, and he got past Tom Chilton. Chilton never gave up and found the way back onto the podium on the last lap. And as the checker flag fell, Rob Huff recorded his 9th win around these streets. A record-breaking feat. And the All-Inkle squad celebrated their first win of 2017. Alexandre Le Guy doing the podium ceremonies.
Here at the Circuit de Gear in Macau. Please welcome onto the podium from Sebastian Loeb Racing, it's Tom Chilton. And in 2nd position from Castrol Honda World Touring Car Team, it's Norby Michelis. And your winner of the main race here at the World Touring Car Championship in from Oracle, it's Rob Huff. Already on the podium, our All-Inkle Munich Motorsport WTCC trophy winner is Rob Huff. Please welcome onto the podium Dominic Greiner from All-Inkle, our winning team. And now the English national anthem for Rob Huff.